In the heat of battle, lines are drawn. They separate friend from foe, safety from chaos, victory from defeat. For centuries, soldiers have understood a simple, brutal truth: hold the line. But what happens when the line is about to break? What happens when one person refuses to yield, even when everyone else has fallen? Today, we tell the story of a moment in history where they tried to break the line, but she became it. The year is 1915. The Great War rages across Europe, and on the Eastern Front, the Russian Imperial Army is in a desperate struggle against German and Austro-Hungarian forces. Among the millions of soldiers is a woman unlike any other, Maria Botchkareva, born into poverty. Maria was a survivor. She was tough, determined, and had already lived a lifetime of hardship before the war even began. When her homeland was threatened, she did something unheard of. She petitioned Tsar Nicholas II himself for permission to enlist. And incredibly, he granted it. Maria wasn't just a token soldier, she was a warrior. She fought in the trenches, suffered injuries, and earned the respect of her male comrades through sheer bravery. But by 1917, the Russian army was crumbling. Morale was at an all-time low. Soldiers were deserting in droves, refusing to fight. The front line was dissolving into chaos. In this desperate hour, Maria proposed a radical idea: a combat unit composed entirely of women. Her thinking was that their patriotism and sacrifice would shame the men back into fighting. Thus, the first Russian Women's Battalion of Death was born. Hundreds of women from all walks of life flocked to join. They shaved their heads, underwent grueling training, and swore an oath to fight to the death. Maria was their unflinching commander. She was strict, demanding, and forged them into a disciplined fighting force. Their moment of truth came during the Kerensky Offensive in July 1917, near the town of Smorgon. The Russian attack had stalled. Male soldiers in neighboring units hesitated, their will to fight completely gone. They refused to leave the trenches and advance. The enemy, sensing weakness, launched a fierce counterattack. The German forces surged forward, threatening to shatter the Russian line and cause a total collapse. It was at this critical moment that Maria Botchkareva and her Women S Battalion of Death were ordered to hold their position. The men around them were retreating, but Maria and her soldiers stood firm. They were outnumbered, outgunned, and facing a veteran enemy. The Germans expected them to break and run like the others. They were wrong. As the enemy advanced, Maria didn't just hold the line, she became the line. With a deafening war cry, she rose from the trench and led her women over the top, charging directly into the enemy. The sheer shock of seeing women warriors charging them stunned the German soldiers for a moment. That moment was all the battalion needed. They crashed into the German trenches, fighting with a ferocity that bordered on suicidal. They used their rifles, their bayonets, their bare hands. Maria herself was in the thick of it, a whirlwind of courage and fury. But 4 hours they fought. They repelled the German assault and even managed to capture enemy trenches, a feat the male soldiers had failed to achieve. They took casualties, many were wounded, but they did not break. Their stand was so heroic that it inspired some of the demoralized male soldiers to rejoin the fight. Maria and her battalion had done the impossible. They had not just held the line. They had redrawn it with their own blood and courage. Maria Botchkareva's story is a powerful testament to the idea that true strength is not about gender or muscle, but about the will to stand when others fall. When the line was broken, she didn't just fix it. She embodied it. Her legacy reminds us that sometimes the greatest heroes are the ones who refuse to retreat, who become the very thing the world needs them to be in its darkest hour. Thank you for watching. If you were inspired by this story, please hit the like button and subscribe for more tales of incredible courage. We'll see you in the next one.